At yun na nga. Yo, 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 yo. Kumusta, kumusta, kumusta? Ano na? Kumusta ang lahat ng ating mga kayo-yo at lahat ng mga Pinoy hip-hop sa sangmang sulok at iskititan ng Pilipinas, yo. At syempre, sino pa ba ang nasa inyong harapan ulit? Walang iba kundi ang inyong bagong kaibigan, bagong katropa, bagong homeboy at bagong kapatid, yo. Juanito ang pilosopo at ito ang Yo TV. Yeah.
Mga kababayan,
tayo'y mga Pinoy, tayo'y hindi gano. Huwag kang mahiya kung ang ilong mo ay pango.
Last video, nandun na tayo sa fourth element ng hip-hop. Layo na ng ating napuntahan sa siyam na elemento. Nandoon na tayo sa pang-apat, isa sa pinaka-main at pinaka-importante na elements ng hip-hop. Yun yung graffiti art. Hinalukay natin yun at sinaliksik natin, nalaman natin na napakatagal na nga pala talaga. Tapos, tinignan din natin kung sino yung mga pioneer, kung sino yung mga pasimuno ng graffiti, hip-hop graffiti. In particular kasi nga, dalawang subgenre or dalawang culture yung kinabibilangan niya. Punk rock at ang hip-hop, which is yung sa atin. Sa hip-hop graffiti, nakita natin kung sino yung mga pasimuno. May mga taong pasimuno nun. Binasa natin at tinignan natin isa-isa. Ngayon, sa video na to, gusto kong gawin ay tumingin at mag-hunt kung meron tayong makikita na na mga video habang ginagawa nila tong elemento na to o ang pagga-graffiti. Syempre, gusto nating tumingin at makakita nun on the spot. Ano pa nga ba? Syempre, kailangan na naman natin ng ating best friend. Sinong best friend natin? Best friend Google, yo. Punta na tayo sa ating search tab ulit. Particular, syempre, titingin tayo sa YouTube. So, punta na tayo. At yun na nga. Nasa homepage tayo ng Yo TV. Shoutout nga pala sa aking 36 subscribers. Napaka-importante nyo sa akin. Kahit 36 pa lang tayo, magtatanim tayo. Shoutout sa inyo sa pagsama sa akin. At syempre, sa ating Facebook page, gusto ko lang mag-shoutout sa aking community para sa aking 476 followers. Maraming salamat sa inyo, yo, sa pagsunod sa ginagawa ko ditong mga bagay tungkol sa hip-hop. Sana yung 476 na to mag-subscribe din dito sa YouTube para makita nyo yung mga full video na ina-upload ko dito. Anyway, punta tayo sa ating original na pinag-uusapan. Kung merong mga video tong mga pioneer natin ng ating mga graffiti hip-hop artist, tignan natin kung may mga video sila. So, unahin na natin syempre si AKA Cornbread. I-search natin. Sana may video. Cornbread, graffiti artist. History niya to, yo. Syempre, kailangan natin ng ating handy-dandy headset. So, yo, tignan natin ang ating si Cornbread. Stretch muna natin para magkasya sa ating malaking tenga. Yun. So, play tayo ng isa.
I was the only person in the world who wrote his name on the walls for the sole purpose of establishing a reputation. I changed the historical course of my generation and generations that followed me and gave birth to a global phenomenon. My name is Darryl McCray. aka cornbread. I am the first element of hip hop, 1965. I wrote my name on the walls day in, day out. Every day, everywhere.
Day and day, you know? Astig eh.
My very first tag on the wall was in the halls of a juvenile institution, Youth Development Center, 1965. You walk in YG's in
Yo, 1965. Legendary yung taon na yun. Malaalamat ang taon na yun para sa elemento na graffiti, hip-hop graffiti. Yun yung unang tag, 1965.
institution, all you seen was cornbread. The teachers, the social workers, and the staff thought that I suffered from a mental deficit. I wrote my name every day, day and night. That's what I did, as opposed to involving myself in the neighborhood in regard to the drugs, the gang war killing, selling drugs, using drugs. I wasn't about that. I was just spray painting the name cornbread everywhere.
In the heat of the cornbread. He's cornbread.
One particular time, I read in this.
I start this shit 1965. Ang malaalamat na taon para sa graffiti, hip-hop graffiti by Cornbread.
Papers like cornbread is shot to death. It read, the fantastic career of Philadelphia best-known graffiti artist came to Ballotton Sunday outside a hotel and bar, and went on to talk about all the things that I did. When I read this article, it became a description of a disaster. I knew I had to do something amazingly bizarre to snatch the public attention to let them know that I still exist. I had pondered countless possibilities, and I came to the conclusion to spray paint my name on a live elephant at the Philadelphia Zoo.
Ang lupit nito. Itinag niya yung name niya sa buhay na elepante. Dito nga sa Philadelphia Zoo. Tingnan natin.
6:30 in the morning, I went to the zoo, went to the back, came over the fence, came down to the enclosure where he was at, hopped over to the pit, walked up to him, took out the spray paint can, and I shook the can so we could hear the ball rattling. He turned around and he looked at me, and he acted like it wasn't there. I walked up to him and I wrote corn, bread, lives. I wrote around to the other side. I wrote corn, bread, lives. I thought I got away with that.
Grabe yung vandalism na ano eh, no? Yung pagtatag, yung tagging na ginawa niya sa buhay na elepante. Yo, that's what's up.
Making my exit from the zoo, I'm coming to the turnstile, all this park cars pulled up, zoop, 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 put handcuffs on me and took me in custody. The whole time I'm in duration, I'm at the police station, all the cops, during the whole day, during the whole night, come back to the jail cell. Which one of y'all's cornbread? I said, here, kid, give me an autograph.
1, 2, 3, 4, hit!
Ang angas eh, no? Yung humuli sa kanyang mga pulis, nagpa-autograph pa sa kanya. Angas. Ni Cornbread pala. Isa sa mga pioneer ng graffiti. 1965, yo.
When I went to court, it was like a circus. The judge is more interested in why do I write my name as opposed to what I'm in front of him for. He asked the court clerk to come and get my autograph, and he kept it. The media had a feeding frenzy about me. So I knew that if I could just write my name on things that the media would write about, I could read it myself in the newspapers. And I just started writing cornbread everywhere. I became a new phenomenon. Get the spray paint from.
At yun ang maiksing video ni Cornbread, 1965, graffiti artist. Napakaakas kahit napakaikli ng kwento na yun. Malupit pala talagang mga nakapaloob sa hip hop. Medyo pasaway pero yun eh. Yun ang hip hop eh. Lupit.
I'm Detective Bernie Jacob. I, in conjunction with my partner, Detective Jim McHugh, are the crime prevention coordinators for the New York City Transit Police Department. Graffiti, as the name itself, is not an art. Graffiti is the application of a medium to a surface.
I don't really want to be the father of graffiti because it's not a noble child to have. As far as being the father
Taki 183, the father of graffiti. So tignan natin to.
of graffiti, I think they give me that name because it's a very basic graffiti. It's not unique. It stood out from other similar graffiti, and that's the only reason. And as I said, the media propped it up. They made the Taki Awards, all kinds of things. The funny story is when we were first starting out, we were in an elevator and we killed the elevator, and there was a regular person there, and when we got to the bottom of the elevator, there was a policeman there, and he goes to the policeman and he says, "Look, these guys just vandalized the whole elevator." And the cop didn't do anything.
Sinulatan yung buong elevator eh, no? Nalupit talaga. Nalupit din talaga yung mga graffiti artist eh, no? Lalo na tong mga badass.
He kind of like, yeah, so he didn't realize, he had like all the top guys he could have caught. As far as being an unwilling father, the interesting thing is I've met a lot of people who said, I'm not being egotistical, but they said I changed their lives, which I find amazing. But I think, I don't know why. Things happen for a reason if it's the time for them to take off. After I stopped writing, in the 80s, it was very sloppy. If you went in the subway, it was terrible. People were writing one on top of the other for no apparent reason. Because when I started, I was writing very small, and there was a blank wall. Then the next person would write bigger and bigger, but as it got bigger, it got more stylized. And the cream of the writers rose above it, the real artists. The subway was a large part of the spread of graffiti because it went to a lot of different neighborhoods. And the kids who wanted to get up and be popular, that was the most popular way to get around. Just like kids in the Midwest from very small towns, they'll go right on trains, and those go all over the country. So it's just a smaller world. When Julio 204 was writing, nobody else was really writing. And we didn't know it was a person. We thought something was going to happen in July 20th at 4 o'clock. But after a while, we realized it was a person. And we said, oh, everybody knows the name, but nobody knows who he is. We'll do the same thing. We'll be anonymous, but everybody will know us. Yeah, that was part of the great fun of it, to be a celebrity that nobody knows. I think the only one who's still doing that is Banksy. Nobody knows who he is, but he's very popular. In the modern graffiti, I don't know if you can call it graffiti anymore, because graffiti is something you do secretly. In my mind, you do it, I did it not to be known, for the anonymity of it. Greeks would know that Taki was short for Dimitraki, and that's what my mother called me, everybody called me that. The only thing I chose was the 183, I guess in respect to Julio 204. I decided to put my street. A lot of people meet me or they see me after a lot of years, because nobody saw my face.
Sabi niya, kung ginawa mo yun ng nakapublish para sa kanya, hindi na yun graffiti. Hindi niya na kino-consider na graffiti yun. Parang siguro yung thrill, yung patago. Kasi gano'n naman talaga eh. Na-experience din namin, ako mismo, na-experience ko magtag ganyan sa mga walls. Way back before pa. Anyway, play natin to.
For about 40 years. I've gone to graffiti signing or whatever, and people meet me and they say, oh, that was you? I don't know what they expected. Sometimes I feel I should have stayed anonymous. But, it's a long time since I did it, and I guess I want to satisfy some people's curiosity. Once I stopped, I didn't really have the impulse to go back. As far as graffiti being illegal, I guess there has to be some protection for private property. I know a lot of younger people, you know, they get arrested, they do community service, they have to pay fines. So, you know, I hate to call it a crime. I guess I'd like to say that there should be some places where kids can go and write on the walls without having to look over their shoulders, basically. Because even the garage here, I was thinking of doing the outside with nice art, but you may have trouble with the city. They may say it's going to attract more artists writing where it's not wanted. So I don't think it's really accepted mainstream. I'd like Taki to be remembered just as somebody who did something not great, but maybe something great came out of it in the end. And I have to tell you that this graffiti movement has lasted a lot longer than some other art movements. So I think that speaks for itself. The last time I did graffiti was in Greece, in Athens, where I guess it's called the crew Buns crew, used to meet.
Yo. Maputol ko lang yung video. Isipin nyo, ang layo na nung tinalon. May punto siya sa sinabi niya na isa yung graffiti art sa pinakamahaba ng nilakbay pagdating sa mga art form na kagaya o related sa ganito. Nagsimula lang sa simpleng pagsusulat nila sa wall. Tapos lumaki na siya ng lumaki at masyado nang malayo yung nilakbay niya mula dun sa simpleng pagsusulat nila sa wall. Napaka-astig din talaga pala ng elemento na to ng hip-hop.
Spike 69, everybody knows I'm there. And that was this year. So you can't take the graffiti out of somebody.
Kas pala nung dalawang magkasunod na yun. Cornbread at Taki 1183.
Hey, now we'd like to welcome our aerosol art masters from New York, Days and Phase 2.
Please welcome.
Guys,
Now, do you guys want to come over here before we talk about your own work?
they want to come down?
What do you think about what these guys have done over here? These are some
Our local guys.
Howard, give us a critique on it.
Oh yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it takes a while though to develop a certain hand to paint. So a lot of this stuff is a little bit forced.
Well, how long have you guys been painting for example?
Well, I've been painting for about 9 years. Right. And longer than that.
Yeah?
Forever.
How did you start? Just on any
Well,
free
we
wall?
started just writing our names on the wall, so you know, kind of like each of us would know that we've been someplace. And
Now, some people would see this sort of thing like in the streets on walls and would call it graffiti. How would you react to that?
Oh, I don't think they have like an understanding of it. Graffiti to us is like bathroom scrawls and
Vandalism.
vandalism, writing on private property,
Yeah.
but this is far more creative than that. Even the work that they're doing over there is far more creative than to fall into the category of graffiti.
it seemed like they had outlines and stuff, they had ideas, and they came up with a design off of an idea. So basically, when you see writing on the wall, messages, so on and so forth, it has something to say. It could be political or whatever. But what we do, you know what I mean, us and as a whole.
Yun. Siya siguro si Phase 2 at yung isa si Days. On the Factory, 1988. Parang batang-bata pang kayo-yo nyo nito. Hop. Mamalaman ng edad.
All the writers everywhere in the world, basically, who are more or less into their work technically, they're artists. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like I said before, the G word basically is nothing but scribble, scrabble, and like we've taken it 1,000 steps above that, so there's no question about that.
All right, so where do you think graffiti's going?
I don't think graffiti's going
Oh,
anywhere.
no, sorry. No, you got me. You got me.
Graffiti's gone.
Right, okay, so where's aerosol art going?
However you want to take it, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not up to the public or the art galleries or anything like that. It's up to us.
It's all up to the individual and how far they
the
want to
writers in
take it.
Australia, the writers in China, Japan, Italy, all over the world, to just believe in themselves and believe in their art and to keep on doing it.
All right, so you can see Phase 2 and Days with Velour and Double O. You sort of start the show off.
Yes, sir.
And thanks for talking to us. Now it's time for another retrospective on cheaply. Do you guys eat cheaply? Every once in a while,
No,
suppose the American
no.
fast food chains.
No, that's there, but we don't eat that.
All right, we got some help now
That's
here.
about a
No
lot.
White Castles.
Nah.
These are retrospective. Thanks for talking to us.
Hey.
All right. Please thank them.
At yun na nga si Phase 2 at si Days. Napansin ko lang parang iisa sila ng paniniwala tungkol sa graffiti art. Na kapag publish na siya at parang legal na sa Freedom Ball o legal na ginagawa, naka-publish na, hindi na kino-consider na graffiti art yun netong mga pioneer ng graffiti art. At yun na nga, tiningnan natin yung mga nag-pioneer ng hip-hop graffiti art. Sinabi nila na ang paniniwala nila, hindi na siya graffiti art kung hindi mo siya ginawa ng patago. Para bang ang ibig sabihin, ang para mas klaro, kumbaga talagang illegal. Illegal nilang tinuturing ang graffiti art at sagrado sa kanila yun. Kasi sabi nga, magiging famous ka pero hindi ka kilala. So 'di ba? Yun yung idea nitong mga tao na to. Ikinalat nila yung mga pangalan nila all over the city, kahit saan, araw-araw daw nagtatag sila, ng tag, lalo na sa mga train, sa mga subway, pero ayaw nila makilala sila, 'di ba? Napakaastig ng kwento ng mga graffiti artist. Napakaganda ng fourth element ng hip hop. One time nakita ko lang na medyo nakumpleto nakita ko lang na may ilang elemento is yung sa event ng Flip Top. Hindi ko lang matandaan kung anong event nila yon, pero nandun nun yung mga MC, may nagdi-DJing at may nag-graffiti art sa pader na on the spot. Ewan ko lang kung may nag-b-boy o nag-b-girling dun sa event na yon. Anyway, balik tayo sa ating home base. At yun na nga. Nanood tayo ng ilang mga clips, ilang video clips na mga pioneer ng graffiti artist at talagang napakaganda ng mga kwento nila para sa akin. Sana nagustuhan nyo rin yung mga kwento nila, lalo na kung kayo ay panatiko ng hip-hop culture. So marami pa tayong dapat i-explore at panoorin tungkol sa graffiti art. Hindi pa natin napupuntahan yung sariling atin at dadaanan natin yon. Pero sa ngayon, itong video na to hanggang dito na lang muna. Salamat sa laging pagsubaybay sa akin at panonood sa aking mga ginagawang video na related sa hip-hop. At kung nagustuhan nyo yung mga video ko o itong video na to, sana mag-subscribe kayo, like at comment para ma-shoutout sa susunod na video. Notification bell syempre. Kung di nyo rin mamasamain, pakishare nyo na rin yung mga video. So, hanggang dito na lang muna uli. Keep safe ang lahat. Lagi mag-iingat. So, sino ba to? Walang iba syempre kundi ang inyong bagong kaibigan, bagong katropa, bagong homeboy at bagong kapatid dito sa social media. Walang iba kundi si Juanito ang Pilosopo at ito ang Yo TV. Peace yo, I'm out.